Yeah, now we will have Dr. Bafna and Dr. Rema. Dr. Rema, can we have? Yeah, Dr. Bafna is again a very great teacher. He was former HOD from gynec oncology at Kidwai. Now he's at BM Jain Hospital. He is also a member of AGOI and IGCS and all. And he was instrumental in commencing MCS Gynae Onco course in India. And goes without saying, obviously, he has more national and international publications. Welcome, sir, for this program and for the Viva in CA Cervix and GTN. And we have Dr. Rema, who is a fellow in gynec oncology, and she's head of the department and additional professor in gynec oncology at Regional Cancer Center Thiruvananthapuram. She had advanced laparoscopic surgery at NHS UK, and she's also a member of IFCPC. I think I won't talk anymore. She also has a lot of publications. Welcome again, Dr. Rama. Now we'll go on to the students who are from Madras Medical College, Dr. Shantini and Dr. Subhashini. Can we start sharing the slides? Who will be?
Yeah, I'll be doing that. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you organizers for this opportunity. So we had a wonderful session in cervix, and we'll be having an. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yes.
I
Now something happened.
No, yeah.
Yeah, we can see that.
Shall we just start without wasting time, and we'll make it a rapid fire session or something like that, Professor? Okay, students, can you identify this and what is the use? Dr. Subhashini?
Ma'am, it's self-retaining cusco speculum, Ayers spatula, endocervical brush, and
Ma, one of you can switch off your this one. One should be enough. Only one device can be on. Otherwise, there's a lot of echoing.
So tell us, how will you take the pap smear and
Switch off one audio. I think they're lost.
patient is
can't hear you?
I'm not able to hear you, Ma. Something is wrong. Please switch off one in equipment. You just mute it.
Ma'am, we have only voice, ma'am. Ma'am?
Yes,
Yeah,
now we
I
can
hear you now. Tell us how you will take a pap smear.
patient is put in the position. We explain the procedure to the patient. The cusco speculum is put, and we wipe out any discharge present with normal saline. Then introduce the Ayers spatula and rotate 360 degrees at the internal os, and we put it to the glass slide. We use fixative of 95% ethanol with 5% ether. We shouldn't allow the smear to air dry. Then we send for install.
What are the disadvantages of this conventional pap smear?
Ma'am, we are not in
And explain
improper technique. We might lead to improper results, ma'am. So proper technique should be
No, she's asking you what is the main drawback of conventional smear? What is the advantage of liquid-based cytology?
only one. Logged in with only one device, ma'am. Ma'am, we have logged in with only one device.
I think there's a lot of echoing is there.
Cusco speculum is put, and
Yeah, you have already explained the procedure, but tell us what is the advantage of liquid cytology over the conventional pap smear?
the same sample can be
Improper technique lead to improper results, ma'am. Can be done in liquid-based cytology, ma'am.
same sample can be used.
We didn't hear you properly, but probably you answered that with the liquid-based cytology, you'd be able to do HPV testing also, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And then what else? Can't you see that the smear from a liquid based is looking better? So
Yes, ma'am.
so the interpretation, is it more sensitive and more specific than your conventional cytology, or how does the liquid cytology fare to a conventional cytology?
Ma'am, pap smear has got low sensitivity but higher specificity, ma'am. So liquid-based cytology is sensitive than pap smear.
I would say that sensitivity and specificity are not changed by doing a liquid base, but you get a better smear with lesser artifacts.
Okay.
How do you interpret this cytology? What was the system used? What is the pathological interpretation of cytology, cervical cytology?
As I'm
Yeah,
can't get
comes
you,
under
ma'am. Ma'am,
Ma'am,
yes. Please answer.
not able to hear, ma'am.
You can't hear me.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is the pathological interpretation of cervical cytology called?
The classification is called
Bethesda classification, ma'am.
Yeah, Bethesda classification.
Bethesda classification.
And you know about the Bethesda classification, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ascus H.
It can be a reactive smear or negative for intraepithelial lesion. It can be a squamous cell pathology or adeno. Ascus
Glandular cell abnormality.
ACH is glandular cell abnormality. Ascus high grade A-tip squamous cells, L cell, H cell. And in granular cells, we have AGCNOS and AGCFN and adenocarcinoma in situ.
Okay, fine. Shall we move forward? What is this and what is the role of cervical cancer screening? You heard about
HPV.
One of you answer. You take turns in answering.
This is a HPV detection kit, ma'am. HPV for HPV DNA testing.
And how do you compare HPV testing?
Sorry, ma'am.
How do you compare HPV testing to pap smear?
HPV testing can be done in age more than 30 years, ma'am, in reproductively active women.
Right.
And it has...
Tell me why you would not do in a patient who's less than 30.
Because the low risk infections with common HPV types is common in reproductive age group less than 30 years, ma'am.
We are not talking about low risk HPV.
The low risk infections. It doesn't specify what which HPV strain is present.
No, actually, this
common infections
looks into the high risk HPV only, but when you do in a person who is less than 30 years, you know that HPV is a transient infection and most of them clear HPV. At that age group, you'll be picking up a lot of HPV infections which should be spontaneously cleared. So you need not go and intervene in these patients. That's why we don't do it in less than 30.
No, I think nowadays the current interpretation has changed. The American Cancer Society has modified its recommendation in
25 years.
Yeah, they have said 25.
So you can do
less than 25 years.
after the age of 25 years. In fact, what is recommended at present is that you do primary HPV testing.
Co-testing.
That is preferred over doing co-testing. Okay. You are doing primary HPV testing. Okay, not co-testing. Primary HPV testing is nowadays preferred. If not happy with HPV testing, or if you do not have experience with HPV testing alone, then you can go ahead with co-testing. And if the facility for co-testing is not available, then you can go for only pap testing. That is the current recommendation.
Yes, it's come in the recent ICS that you can start at 25, but FOXI still says 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah. What is this test? It's also used for cervical cancer screening.
Visual inspection with acetic acid.
Yeah, how is it interpreted? Can you see these and say
What is the recommendation for our country? Do you have any recommendations? What's the recommendations?
Yes, sir. In low resource settings, we follow
Via and will.
I think the voice is breaking.
in screen and treat protocol, sir. If the patient is not amenable for further follow-ups, we use VIA to diagnose, and at that setting we do get the result.
Yeah. So low resource setting, where you cannot afford PAP test, you cannot do HPV testing. You can go for simpler test called as VIA. That is visual inspection with acetic acid.
how will you do
acid.
how will
What
you do a
percentage of
VIA
acetic acid is used?
3 to 5%
acetic acid, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
How will you teach your nurse or health worker to do it? You swab with 5%.
We have
Wait for 1 minute and look for whitish lesions. Okay. So what are you seeing here? Now is it different from the first two pictures?
Shows the dense regular margin.
Your voice is breaking. We can't hear you.
There's dense acetyl lesion with regular margins. Can you hear us, sir?
Yeah.
Now better now, slightly better. But the audio quality is really poor. Please go ahead.
Areas with high-grade lesion. Lesion with regular margins. We have areas with regular acetyl lesion with of high-grade.
Ma'am, the last two pictures, they have dense acetovite areas, ma'am, when compared to the first two pictures.
Yeah.
So, and they have regular margins. So, these two factors indicate that it is probably a high-grade lesion.
Yeah, this could even be an invasive cancer, right? So these must
Yes,
be
ma'am.
CINs, and this could be an invasive cancer. So what is this instrument?
It's a punch biopsy forceps, ma'am.
Does it have a name? It's a cervical punch biopsy forceps, and the name is Stichler cervical punch biopsy forceps. So when you are taking biopsy from a acetovite area like this, from where will you take biopsy?
From the margin of the lesion.
You mean the outer margin here?
Yes, ma'am, including a portion of the normal area.
No, when you are taking biopsy for CIN, take it
From
as,
here or you take it from here? Where do you take?
will you take it from here or will you take it from here?
More near to the transformation zone, ma'am.
No.
The whole thing is transformation zone.
Transformation zone.
You should near this news comma columnar junction, right? The whole thing is transformation zone. So your biopsy should be from the worst part of the lesion. That is the most acetovite area, and it should be nearer to the comma columnar junction, news comma columnar junction. So not from here, you should be taking from here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You know about this instrument? No, this is endocervical speculum. So what is the use of an endocervical speculum?
To visualize the transformation zone if it is not seen outside.
What are the types of
Type 3, type 3.
What are the types of
Type 1, type 2, and type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 1 is entirely visualized on the ectocervix. Type 2 is partially over the ectocervix and partially extending into the endocervix, but it can be visualized with the endocervical speculum. And type 3 is entirely within the endocervix.
You can't visualize the extent at all, right? Even with
Yes,
endocervical
yes.
manipulation with the speculum, we can't see the.
Speculum.
So what is the importance of these three types?
It decides the management, ma'am.
How does it decide the man?
It
You
is
are right.
completely visible. In type 1, we go for ablative. We can go for ablative procedures. And in type 2 also, if the lesion is completely visible, we can go for ablative. If it's not visible, we go for excisional procedures, ma'am, to find the extent.
Yes, you are right. For type 2 and 3, it's most probably excision procedures. And type 3, you have to another excision from endocervical canal. So what is this?
Yes.
What is it?
Colposcope, ma'am.
What is the use of colposcope in a person who a patient comes to you with an abnormal cervical cytology? She got an LCIL in cytology. How will you evaluate her with the colposcope?
Can you please tell me what is the magnification used in colposcopy and what are the indications? What are the important indications for colposcopy?
So the magnification varies from 3 times to 40 times, sir. But we commonly use 15 times magnification for normal visualization and 25 times for vascular patterns, sir.
25 times.
We do a colposcopy.
25 times.
25 for
No.
vascular
We
patterns.
don't use
No.
microscope, colpomicroscope. We are not using a colpomicroscope. We are using a colposcope. So magnification of 3 times to 10 times is enough.
Maximum
You have to
15,
magnify more than 10
more than
times.
15. You can't see.
Okay. Then it comes a colpomicroscope. We are not pathologists. We are clinicians. We don't have to use a magnification of 30 times, 40 times. Okay. And what are the important indications of colposcopy? When do you do colposcopy?
Yes.
Tell me the most important
Abnormal.
indication of colposcopy.
Abnormal pap smear.
Yeah, abnormal pap smear is the indication for colposcopy. So whenever you have abnormal pap smear, you do pap smear. Suppose the abnormality is low grade, like ascus. Do you recommend colposcopy immediately?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So abnormality has got a various grades. You have very low grade, but starting with ascus. Then you have ASC-H, you have LCIL, you have HCIL. Okay, you have different grades of abnormalities. So sometimes you have to do colposcopy immediately. Sometimes you can do it a little later. So do you have any other test in addition to HPV testing to decide whether to do colposcopy immediately or not? Any other test which is more important? Because pap test is subjective, colposcopy is subjective.
HPV testing.
Yeah, HPV testing. HPV testing is
Reflex
actually
HPV.
even more and more important nowadays. So primary HPV screening is becoming more important than pap test. Because pap test is subjective, colposcopy is subjective. Both are subjective. HPV testing is objective. So HPV testing is always I think more important than pap test, and then you can go ahead with colposcopy. You can take a decision regarding whether to do colposcopy immediately or not. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Shall we go to the next one? Okay, what are the steps in colposcopy?
We have to first visualize the cervix, ma'am, by using a colposcope and see for the transformation zone. And then
we apply color filter and look for vascular patterns, ma'am.
Good.
Then we apply acetic acid to look for
transformation zone. How do you look for transformation zone? What are the features of transformation zone? Where it is beginning, where it is ending? How do you make out? You should know where it is beginning, where it is ending. If we are able to see it completely, then it is called a satisfactory colposcopy. If we are not able to see it completely, it's called unsatisfactory colposcopy. So you should know where the transformation zone is beginning, what is the inner margin and what is the outer margin. So how do you make out? How do you make it out? Have you done colposcopy anytime?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Have you done colposcopy or not? If you have not done, you probably will not know. Have you done colposcopy? Yes or no?
yes, yes.
Then you tell me now. What are the features of transformation zone? What is the importance of transformation zone? Why are you giving so much importance to transformation zone? Why it is so important?
Because most of the lesions arise from the transformation zone.
Most of the cancers, almost all the cancers arise from transformation zone. You don't have to look at the outer part of the ectocervix. Okay, you don't have to look at the endocervix. You have to look only at the transformation zone. So you should know how to identify the transformation zone on colposcopy. Okay, I think this is not the right time to talk about transformation zone. I think we'll not have enough time.
Okay, so here you are seeing some acetovite area, and this is a yellow color is no uptake of iodine.
Lugol's iodine.
Yeah,
In this case, colposcopy is satisfactory or not? The previous slide, colposcopy is satisfactory or not? See, this is the inner margin, this is the outer margin.
Yes.
Probably.
We're able to
The new junction here.
visualize the complete
Yes.
transformation.
yeah,
So
we now
colposcopy
call it
satisfactory or not?
colposcopy adequate, and
Colposcopy is
Yes,
adequate.
ma'am. Yes.
Colposcopy is adequate.
Yes.
Okay.
and your transformation zone will be from the new scama columnar junction here. Here I can't see the extent of the transformation zone because there is a lesion there.
Yeah.
Your outer extent will be delineated by the outermost strip opening or the Nabothian cyst. Okay, so that will be the transformation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, have you seen this instrument? What is it? What is the procedure?
The
Cryoprobe.
Tell me the indications for cryotherapy in treating CIN.
In case of in CIN, where the lesion is small lesion, ma'am, which is not extending for more than half of the ectocervix, and it is completely visualized, not extending into the endocervix. We can use cryoprobe, ma'am.
Yeah, and ideally for a low grade lesion. It should be low grade, it should be a type of
Grade lesion.
stone, and it should be a smaller lesion. And what is the technique called? When you freeze and thaw and freeze, what do you call that technique?
Freeze, thaw, freeze, thaw, freeze.
So it's double freeze technique. Okay.
Freeze, thaw, freeze. Yes, ma'am.
How much time you freeze? Timing, freeze, thaw.
5 and 3. 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and 3 minutes.
3 minutes. 3 minutes freeze, thaw for 5 minutes.
It's
again
3 minutes.
freeze. Okay.
And
So
freeze
that
for 3
ice ball extends beyond the tip of the probe. Okay. To cover the entire lesion. That is more
3,
important.
5, and 3.
Ice ball, when ice ball is falling, it will extend beyond the tip of the probe and should cover the entire lesion. That is more important. Okay. What is the drawback of this method? Ablation. Ablation by.
We don't have any specimen for histopathological examinations.
You're right.
So unless you
No
are a
specimen for
colposcopist,
histopathology.
unless you are a good colposcopist, unless you are a good pathologist, you should not use this method. Okay, because you may likely to miss microinvasive cancer or invasive cancer if you are not a good colposcopist. If you are learning, better not to use ablation. Okay, and what is another drawback of cryotherapy? What are the side effects of cryotherapy?
Because
Increased vaginal discharge.
Yeah,
The
why?
patient-
Why?
Procedure.
Why?
due to necrosis and
It causes heavy necrosis, and patient will have profuse white discharge.
White
Sometimes
discharge.
they get scared. They didn't have discharge before the procedure. After the procedure, they start having a lot of discharge. So they may get scared. So you must warn them beforehand that you are likely to have discharge.
So you are treating CIN and you treated a asymptomatic patient and now she has a lot of discharge. So they'll come and complain, as sir rightly said. You have seen this instrument, another ablative technique, which is now becoming more popular. It's not actually LEAP, it is the probe like here. Looks like a cryoprobe, right? It's a cold coagulator. This technique is called thermocoagulation. Another name is, older name is cold coagulation. So it's a thermocoagulation. And this actually is a misnomer because it delivers heat. You raise the temperature to 100 and you coagulate the cervix.
It's called, I think, popularly known as SEMS cold coagulator. Not very popular in our country. But the cold coagulation, like Dr. Rima said, it is a misnomer because the temperature is raised to 100 degrees centigrade. Then why is it called cold then? Why is it called cold? Cold compared to what? Cold compared to? Huh?
Yeah.
Cryo, sir.
You are using
Cryo,
cotton during
cryo
surgery.
is cold, really cold.
Do you not
This
use
is
cotton
colder
during surgery?
compared to which technique? What's it, Saras? The next technique you were telling.
Thermal ablation.
This is
So
thermal
ablation,
ablation.
when they are using cautery, electric cautery during surgery, what is the temperature? It is 1000 degrees centigrade. Whenever you are using electric cautery during surgery for coagulating artery and vein, the temperature is raised to 1000 degrees centigrade. So compared to that, here temperature is colder. It is just 100 degrees. That's why it's called as cold coagulation. But actually, it's not a cold coagulation. Temperature is raised to 100 degrees centigrade. And Dr. Rema said it is nowadays preferred technique nowadays. Why is it preferred? Preferred over what?
Why do you do this now? Even we have two cold coagulators there. Thermal ablation. The new name is thermal ablation, right?
Probably it is preferred over loop excision of transformation zone. What is it called? Next slide, I think. Next slide.
Yeah. What is this technique? You saw that in the previous lecture also. What is LEAP? Can you expand?
Loop electroexcision
Procedure.
And what is LETS?
large loop excision of
the transformation zone.
Really same. Okay. What is this? This electrode?
roller
It's a
ball.
ball electrode, ma'am.
It's a ball electrode. And this one is a?
Why?
That's a square electrode.
Wired electrode. Wire electrode.
They're
This
all
is just
wire
used for PAT C.
loops.
This one is used for LEDs. Okay, you use a larger loop for exercising the transformation zone. Why do you want to exercise the transformation zone completely? When lesion is the white patch is there, is it not enough to exercise the white patch? Is it not enough to exercise the osteo white patch on the transformation zone? Why do you want to remove the entire transformation zone?
So all the lesions start from the transformation zone, sir.
Yeah, correct.
So that is why excision of the entire transformation zone is preferred.
Would have infected the entire transformation zone. Okay, so you have to remove the even normal looking transformation zone also. If you don't remove normal looking transformation zone, you remove only the osteo white patch, patient will have recurrence. So you have to remove the entire transformation zone in the management of CIN2 and CIN3.
It's not just for excision. What I'm going to say is when you're treating CIN by whatever
This is-
technique, you should treat the entire transformation zone, not just the lesion. Even when you're doing ablative techniques, it's the entirety is it. So identify the specimen and we already had a lecture on this.
Modified radical.
Yeah.
Ma'am, it's a specimen of a modified radical hysterectomy.
You can say a class 2 or 3 radical.
Class 2. Ma'am.
Would it be a class 2 or class 3?
Class 2, ma'am.
Why?
Vaginal cuff is only, ma'am.
It's only 2 centimeters. What's the size of the tumor?
It is definitely more than 4
Centimeter?
more than 4 centimeters.
It's the B1 disease, right? That
Yes,
is
ma'am.
the B1 disease. So for B1
Yes,
cancer
ma'am.
cervix, what's the surgery done?
Radical.
Yeah, you heard the previous lecture by Amita Madam. You classify the radical hysterectomies as class 1, 2, and 3. So for B1 to
1, 2, and 3.
class 3. When will you do a class 2?
Radical.
Type 2. For which stage?
For 1B, 1B1 and B2, ma'am.
On B1 and B2, it is a class 3, already said. Class 2 is done for 1A2 and 1A1 with LVSI, right? Class 2 is done for 1A2 and 1A1 with LVSI. This class 3 is done for 1B1, 1B2 and 2A1. And you combine your radical hysterectomy with what other surgery?
Pelvic lymphadenectomy.
Pelvic lymphadenectomy.
What are the groups of lymph nodes removed during pelvic lymphadenectomy? What are the groups of lymph nodes removed during pelvic lymphadenectomy?
The clue is they are named along the vessels on which they lie.
The pelvic lymph node, all common iliac vessel, lymph nodes near the common iliac vessels.
Yeah, the lower common iliac lymph nodes, right? What are we can't hear you. Yeah, you said lower common iliac, right? What other lymph nodes? Shall I
Lymph nodes
answer?
are
No, we can't hear you now.
Ma'am, lymph nodes along the great vessels.
Yeah, you
All
name
the
the lymph
common
nodes.
iliac vessels.
Common iliac, then what? Common iliac continuous is which artery?
Lymph nodes along the great vessels, ma'am. The common iliac, all, ma'am, internal iliac, external iliac
Right.
vessels.
Hmm. So
And,
external iliac lymph nodes, internal iliac lymph nodes, and which other group?
Lymph nodes along the great vessels.
and obturator lymph
That
nodes.
is actually lymph node. So in your pelvic lymphadenectomy, you are looking at external iliac, internal iliac, obturator group of lymph nodes, and the lower common iliac. That's the answer we expect from you, right? Your audio is again creating problems.
No, I think the internet connection is not stable. I think we
No.
can't hear. Neither we can hear you nor we can see you properly.
Tell me,
8:25.
Ma'am, now can you hear us, ma'am?
Oh, better now.
Ma'am, can you hear us now?
is it time to wind this up, or should we have a very short DTD? Dr. Mumtaz?
I think it's almost 40 minutes.
Their internet connection is also very
If you want to show something, you may just show and just tell them, but
I think Dr. Rima, I think you can talk a
Yes.
few slides, whatever you have slides, you can just explain to the students.
that will be better.
Okay, let's just continue. Okay, this is a, I'll describe the specimen as a cut open uterus showing a identiform mole, and how you differentiate it from a partial mole is you will see the fetal tissue also here, along with the focal hydropic change, focal villus change, and a fetus, it is partial mole. And now another case which I got for you is a 20-year-old woman who came with a bleeding in early pregnancy. Her beta HCG was around 5 lakhs, and uterus showed this typical snowstorm pattern, which is typical of identiform mole. And these are the two ovarian cysts seen along with that uterus, and we call that a theca lutein cyst. What is important is you shouldn't be doing anything for the theca lutein cyst. You continue a treatment for the mole, and the theca lutein cyst disappears by itself. And for a theca lutein cyst with UCS cyst like this, I'll call a differential diagnosis hypothyroidism also, you get this sort of cyst. So when you get bilateral ovarian cyst, simple cyst, multiseptated, you think about hypothyroidism in another patient. Okay, so you know about evacuation, and we'll be discussing all this. Let's come to, yeah. Another important thing I wanted to show is when your vesicular mole patient has got a vaginal deposit, you should not be taking, this is your vesicular mole patient or a GTN patient who has come with a deposit in the vagina. What is important is don't take a biopsy from this deposit.
Biopsy.
You will end up, you shouldn't be taking a biopsy, right? You should be taking a biopsy because you'll end up with parenteral bleed. You treat the patient with chemotherapy and don't take biopsy. This is another specimen of invasive mole. You should remember that the indications for surgery in a patient with GTN is, one is invasive mole, which is cause perforation, which is cause bleeding, and also in a elderly patient more than 40 years, you may do a hysterectomy. So this is an invasive mole which is eroded into the surface of the uterus. Another patient of GTN, the routine investigations include in addition to the ultrasound abdomen and X-ray chest. And here you can see some chest wall of cannonball opacities of metastasis. So that's what with the Bafna sir.
Hello.
Whenever you see a cannonball shadow on a chest X-ray in a young woman, always you must think about GTN, gestational trophoblastic neoplasia. Okay, young women, cannonball shadows, think about GTN.
So shall we wind up? It's almost we exceeded the time. So shall we wind up? Thank you, organizers. Thank you, students. You answered well, but there was some problem with the audio. So
Thank you.
okay. Thank you so much. Dr. Mumtaz.
Thank you so much, Dr. Emma and Bafna sir, for that very interesting and useful discussion on the specimen and instruments. And the students also, Subhashini and Chantini from Madras Medical College did well. So I think we go to the next section. For the next